Disgraced, but free, Tony Yengeni still insists he is innocent. We look back at a few of the hard facts. A Pretoria train ploughs into a bakkie, killing 3. And triumph for South Africa in the cricket, but disaster in the Dakar as Janelle de Villiers crashes out. Live from Johannesburg, this is E-News. Good evening. Tony Yengeni is back home tonight after serving just 4 months of his 4-year sentence for fraud. The disgraced former ANC chief whip has been released from prison to a big homecoming celebration. The defiant Yengeni told supporters that he should never have done time in jail.
A small but vocal group of supporters turned out to welcome Tony Yengeni outside the gates of Malmesbury prison. He'd served just 4 months of a 4-year sentence for fraud.
It's a great day for me and my family and for the movement, in that I'm now walking out of the gates of this prison. A place that I was not supposed to be in the first place.
Minutes after his release from prison, Yengeni was whisked away to his parents' home in Gugulethu. There, he was officially welcomed back into the ranks of the ANC by the party's provincial leadership, but no big political heavyweights were present. Yengeni hit back at reports that he'd had preferential treatment while serving his time.
There's a lot that has been said about me in the media, and I would want one day to respond to those things. But as I say, I don't think now is the right moment.
Yengeni clearly has a lot on his chest about false accusations he says were leveled against him during his trial and while in prison. He says he wants to come clean, but only when the time is right.
Yengeni insists he'd been wrongly convicted of defrauding Parliament when he received a discount on a luxury 4x4. But the Commercial Crimes Court, the Pretoria High Court and the Supreme Court of Appeal all saw it differently. And let's not forget, Yengeni even pleaded guilty in 2003 in a deal to avoid corruption charges. Prosecutors argued that Yengeni received a massive discount on this Mercedes-Benz in return for using his political influence. Daimler-Benz Aerospace, which gave Yengeni the discount, was in the hunt for lucrative arms deal contracts at the time. Back then, Yengeni was the chairperson of the Joint Standing Committee on Defence. His job was to ensure the arms deal was above board, not to enrich himself and then hide the discount deal from Parliament. Claiming to be wrongly convicted might sound good to his political supporters, but based on the facts before the courts, Yengeni is a crook. Lukhanya Chalata, E-News, Cape Town.
Well, to discuss Tony Yengeni's release, we're joined now by E-News political analyst Justice Malala. Evening, Justice. No special treatment, yet he is visited in prison yesterday by our Correctional Services Minister. What do you make of that?
Well, the question you have to ask is which prisoner gets received by the Minister of Correctional Services and then gets sent off by the Minister of Correctional Services. What we have here is a situation where certain people are being treated very preferentially, and whatever he says, South Africa will look at him and look at so many other ANC leaders who are being given preferential treatment and say, well, that's the legal system for the poor and another one for the rich and powerful.
Special treatment or not, does Tony Yengeni still have a political future?
He definitely has a political future as a power maker, as a kingmaker in the ANC. He was visited by Jacob Zuma yesterday, and the support that he has is critical to so many people who want to be president of the ANC and therefore of the country.
Have we just touched the tip of the iceberg with the arms deal? We're hearing new reports from Germany and Britain about lots more to uncover. What is your sense on that?
Well, I think, one of the leaders of the opposition, Patricia de Lille, has pointed out that she's got 23 names on her list. I suspect that this is mere child's play, what Yengeni was convicted for. There's so much more that's going to come up, and millions, if not billions of rands worth of bribes that have been handed over. It's definitely going to go on and on and on. It's one of the things that we've really have to look at seriously.
Definitely one to watch. Justice Malala, thanks so much for joining us. Police have finally confirmed that they are investigating allegations of drunk driving against Robert McBride. The Ekurhuleni Metro Police Chief crashed his car last month. Until now, the investigation had focused on reckless and negligent driving.
Robert McBride rolled his car while apparently dashing to an emergency call. He was whisked away to hospital by unidentified people before a breathalyzer or a blood test could be done. Now witnesses have given statements to police that McBride appeared to have been drunk.
Certain members of the community have come forward and we are busy with the investigation of those allegations.
McBride could not be reached for comment. He is still on leave. But is asked for a meeting with Ekurhuleni Mayor Duma Nkosi when he returns to work next Monday. Nkosi says there are currently no grounds for McBride's suspension.
I think on my part I don't have that detail, and I think it may be unfair to the person accused. I will say if things are done quicker, one would actually really appreciate that. Make a process to be very quick. He doesn't actually have to be asked to go on leave. It should actually be dealt with quickly and then concluded.
Nkosi says the hospital where McBride was treated should have taken a blood sample. But neither he nor the SAPS will confirm whether police have blood test results that can be used as evidence. Kale Naya, E-News, Johannesburg.
3 people have been killed, one of them a baby, after a train hit their bakkie at a crossing north of Pretoria. One witness told police that the bakkie's driver actually waited about 15 minutes for the train and then drove onto the tracks and stopped in its path.
All that's left of the bakkie after it was dragged 200 meters beneath this train, with a man and a woman pinned inside. The baby between 4 and 8 months old was flung clear. Shocked medics found the tiny broken body close to the point of impact. The victims are thought to have been members of the same family. No one on the train was injured, but the train driver and guard needed trauma counseling. And the line was closed for much of the afternoon while the wreckage was cleared. Metrorail says the train driver isn't to blame.
We've issued, as a company, we issued an instruction that every time a train driver approaches a level crossing, he must blow the hooter. And in this case, that was done according to eyewitnesses as well as the driver.
The names of the victims haven't been released yet, as their next of kin still need to be informed. Metrorail has set up a board of inquiry to investigate this accident. Baldi Karelse, E-News, Garankuwa.
Let's take financial news now and a quick look at the markets.